But come,
the dandy,
return with come.
your cup, your ego is wild. Think of your child.
Our junior's all right.
My parents were actually the era that this character is about, and it was an era that was marked by so much change in sexuality, the sexual revolution. At the beginning, you find Sam at the funeral a few days after his wife has died. He hasn't seen his kids in a number of years, and all of a sudden they show up late. So he has this huge outburst of anger, and then he goes back and starts reading some of her diaries. For the first time, he's had to reflect on how he himself has affected other people.
The Trouble in Tahiti section was originally a one-act opera. It was incorporated into A Quiet Place as a series of flashbacks that old Sam has as he's reading Dinah's diaries.
I can totally relate to her because I'm married. And especially with this frustration and not being able to communicate.
Marriages from that era, even if they weren't necessarily getting along, it was not a very common occurrence to have a divorce.
The fact that it's Bernstein makes it very approachable.
It's jazzy, it's poppy.
Mahler comes up and Schoenberg comes up, but there's also something so bluesy about it.
It's multi-rhythmic, multi-metered.
And then all of a sudden something's off. It's a little syncopated.
I don't think it's how I would sing a lot of other roles. It's a real, if there's a character role for a soprano, this is it.
And here we are in New York City singing Bernstein. How awesome is that?
Operatic type singing and music, but it's also a little bit mixed in with Broadway because, of course, Bernstein was so famous for West Side Story.
I think it needs to be seen in New York because the fact that it hasn't been is sort of a travesty.
New York City Opera is establishing itself once again as a place where American opera can flourish. One of the many things I love about Christopher Alden, the director, is that he looks at each artist as who they are, what they are, and brings the best out of them. There are no gimmicks. It's not being transported into outer space.
There's a kernel of truth in everyone's life in this piece, that dysfunctional families are actually normal families.